What up? It's your boy T-Bird. The reaction today is Wrestling Wednesday. So this is kind of stem off the video I just did before about the Jey Uso problem. It's also from This is also from WrestleMania as well too. This is 10 most complained about moments of WWE. You know, race as of lately, a lot of like WWE shows. If you have, I had to find out how folks are seeing dislike, but I guess if you have the extension, I guess a certain extension to your browser as well too, or use a third party, you use it or some third party, you can see the dislike of YouTube videos. And there's been a lot of videos from WWE as late. They got disliked though. Whether it's one of them those will be in Jay winning the being the number contender for the World Heavyweight Champion, him winning Rumble. Most recent one is Cody Rhodes beating Drew McIntyre, which is ridiculous as well too. Like, this is them back to what the main thing about the Jey Uso problem, the internet fan versus the wrestlers being loved in live crowd but hated on the internet as well too. It's kind of like a thing now these days. It's like a thing as of lately as well too though. The question is, who matters? You know what I mean? I should make a talk. I should feel like I should make a thoughts talk reaction based that as well too. So anyway, but for now we're gonna check this video from WrestleMania about 10 most complained about moments in WWE, and I think this was before the most recent thing I can't trying to get the words out of my mouth. The most recent thing with Saturday Night Main Events. Well, I keep saying Saturday Night Main Events. As the Jey Uso problem was. Oh no, it's 3 days. So no, it's included in there. So it might. So that in the so the Cody one might get included. So let's keep going. Let's get it.
No, don't do it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was bullshit. They made a DQ in a Hell in a Cell match. Yeah, that, in my opinion, that really was like the nail of the coffin in Seth Rollins' face run around that time, man. They ruined that and the beginning and end for Bray Wyatt's Fiend character too. That was bullshit.
The reception to pro wrestling is the same as it is in any other medium. The fans, diehard or otherwise, are gonna complain. It doesn't help then that WWE has continuously unleashed a slog of matches, moments and angles that have seriously angered its core fan base. Even in 2025, this hasn't ceased, as John Cena's heel turn, a moment so eagerly anticipated for over 2 decades, was handled without the care and attention it truly warranted. But that's just the latest chapter in a lengthy anthology of WWE having historically patronized its audience. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 of the most complained about moments in WWE history. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Number 10, the Jey Uso experiment. 111,000, 89,000, 84,000. No, those aren't WWE's inflated attendance figures for the past 3 WrestleManias. They actually represent the company's 3 most disliked YouTube videos of 2025. The common denominator? Jey Uso. The 3 videos in question are Jey winning the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 41, 1-minute squash over Austin Theory from March of 2025, and his recent Battle Royal victory on Raw acted as sufficient evidence that WWE's incessant pushing of main event Jey really hasn't worked. He shifts merchandise and he's got his catchphrase over, but this didn't equate to a consistent spot atop the WWE main event mountain. And for those reasons, WWE's decision to light a fire behind him wasn't a terrible idea, but they've absolutely taken it too far. Putting him over in the 2025 Royal Rumble match, last eliminating John Cena what was seen as final Rumble before retiring, was instantly met with skepticism on social media, and his subsequent ride to WrestleMania wasn't exactly without hurdles. His in-ring work is poor and certainly isn't the level of his main event counterparts. Number 9, the rise and fall of Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Well, there was a genuine feeling of change in the air post-TLC 2011, the first scene of which saw the unionization of CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and Zack Ryder in the ring. It was a particularly poignant moment for Ryder, who'd ridden the WWE system for years and was finally seeing the hard work paying off. That is until he realized that only the fans, not Vince McMahon, were behind him. In Vince's mind, their opinion was as useful as a dinosaur skull on his office wall. Ryder hadn't been gifted with a fruitful WWE career that made him a household name, but away from WWE's shambolic television, he used his self-produced YouTube series The True Long Island Story to get himself over. It worked too until WWE got bored and booked him to drop the United States Championship within weeks, and then had Kane kill him off on the same night as his storyline girlfriend Eve Torres cheated on him in front of him with supposed babyface John Cena. Fans were pissed, but what could they do? Getting yourself over outside of WWE's corporate bubble was treated as a crime, and thus Ryder didn't do too much else for the next 8 years before he was ultimately canned in 2020. Number 8, John Cena slays the Nexus. No.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm always indifferent with that at the moment as well too. Because one, Cena was a face and the Nexus was heel. Number two, if Nexus won, it was home court advantage. So I'm always indifferent with that as well too. But I get why. But of course, reason why people dislike it, because they hate when Cena wins, and one two, they felt like the push for Nexus was stolen and all as well too. But whatever. So I'm always indifferent with this one. So let's keep going.
Oh, I've never operated like that. Never had creative control. I've always just kind of been reliable, showing up and doing whatever I'm asked. This is a direct quote taken from John Cena's August 2025 appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and it's complete waffle. Cena, 15 years earlier in August 2010, petitioned to bludgeon the Nexus at SummerSlam, cooling their heated start to WWE. Disposing of Wade Barrett and Justin Gabriel as if they were Barry Horowitz and the Brooklyn Brawler,
Damn.
John was on full Super Cena form this night. He withstood a prolonged 2-on-1 beatdown, which included a DDT on the concrete floor, but Gabriel was unable to evade elimination after missing his own 450 splash, while Barrett succumbed to a typically weak Cena-applied STF. That was it for the Nexus. They'd began their descent into WWE irrelevancy. But that wasn't the plan. As told by Heath Slater, the NXT Season 1 rookies were to go over Team Cena until 1 hour after WWE had opened the doors to the Staples Center. Edge and Chris Jericho were the ones that put the whole match together, made it make sense, and it was good. Then Cena didn't like it, is the story I've heard, so he wanted to change it. Edge and Chris went to bat for us. They were all for it, the Nexus winning. Then it got switched, and Jericho and Edge were pissed. They were just like, are you kidding? Are you serious? This ain't good for the story. This is just for Cena's ego. That was a damning message sent to WWE developmental hopefuls and crucially to the so-called WWE Universe, their complaints going unanswered as Vince McMahon succeeded in bidding off another solid gold idea. Number 7, here comes Charlotte Flair. In 2019, WWE had the easiest to sell WrestleMania event since 2001. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, the man versus the baddest woman on the planet, the biggest babyface versus the biggest heel. But they ruined it. The insertion of Charlotte Flair wasn't the coup that they thought it would be. Flair, already hated for not being Becky Lynch, was serenaded by vitriolic hatred when Vince McMahon introduced.
Yeah, it was. And two, this is right after they tried. As I mentioned in my other video, another fail heel turn go wrong. They tried to try the heel turns the answer with Becky, and that didn't work either because they was not trying to boo her at all, and they tried it hard, and it wasn't unnatural to her at the time as well too. Though they did not. Matter of fact, people was cheering when she checked the Charlotte as well too. Thank God they pivoted that, and especially with the thing, I think half of the pivot was that punch from Nia as well too happened, but still, and then they made her baby face as well too. But then try hard to insert her, that made things worse. So yeah. I can see this being a complaint one. It was ridiculous. Like we didn't need Charlotte. It's like at times like Charlotte was worse. Charlotte can push anything. It was needed.
Introduced her as Becky's replacement for Rousey's match. It was a worst possible solution to a problem that never existed in the first place. It did nothing to assist the WrestleMania build other than fill the void in the weeks Rousey didn't fancy traveling to television. Lynch would ultimately be reinstated as the headline attraction and also win. The fans knew that this was the long-term plan, but it didn't matter. Charlotte was public enemy number 1, not storyline-wise, but in actuality. Here, fans' complaints weren't restricted to hating on Flair's fictional character or on WWE's handling of the situation, but rather they took the form of death threats. Now, this isn't okay, obviously.
See, this is where they go. This is when fans go way too far. This is when fans go way too far. Like that wasn't needed. That one, gonna say the wrong Flair died. That was not needed. Like, this is why this fandom gets a lot of side eye as well too. This is why they get a lot of side I as well too. Man. Yeah, for real. Sorry, somebody posted the Dominic blacked out his patient. Anyway, let's keep going. But yeah, that's not needed. You don't need to be threatening folks. Not me. I don't even go that far about a heel character. Because like I said, beside behind the label and the character, I respect the wrestler. Not me. I got no true hatred towards the wrestler as well. This is ridiculous.
And those involved should feel embarrassed and ashamed. Number 6, Cody Rhodes and the Rubber Chicken.
Yeah.
In 2023, WWE had one of the easiest WrestleMania sells ever. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, the American Nightmare versus the Tribal Chief, the biggest babyface versus the biggest heel. Wait, where have we heard this before? Yeah, they ruined it. Cody was hot property at the time of WrestleMania 39. He returned after a 6-month injury in the Royal Rumble match and set his sights on Roman Reigns, setting out to what had to be the unattainable for Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and countless others. If only. Roman pinned Cody following an unwanted Solo Sikoa interruption, describing the reaction as an opera of silence.
Yeah. Here's the thing with that. I don't blame folks being pissed. I was pissed too. Everything. They could have did it then. I think the 40 was just as great. It was. They could have did it then, but I guess they wanted Roman to hit that 1,000-point mark as well too. So after a while, it started to look like a stat pattern. That's why folks was not gonna be attendance if they went with him winning it again at 40. So yeah, so no. They have so good job them not doing it again on 40, but at the same time, they could have won then at 39 though. But I guess they had to make the story going. But they had the thing with Jay, insurance role too. Who knows? But at the same time, yeah, they could have had Cody won. Even Cody won and Roman won it back would have been a good look too though. But they had their eye on their stats. That's all it was.
This would be a cliche gone too far, but it's true. The negative response in the SoFi Stadium was legitimately deafening, loud enough to drown out Reigns' victorious theme music. WWE followed it up with a Brock Lesnar heel turn on Cody Rhodes, and a Roman Reigns title defense versus a yet-to-break-out Jey Uso was a final kick in the teeth. Still, at least Cody got a free rubber chicken out of it. Number 5, the boss endorses the rattlesnake. This is what Stone Cold Steve Austin had to say regarding his infamous heel
turn. The infamous heel turn. Yup. See what I say? See what I mean when I say heel turn not always the answer? Now I'm saying in the last video, heel turn not the answer. Another example right there. I didn't even mention this example right here. People don't want to boo. It's people that they don't want to boo. You can't force. They gotta stop trying to force people to boo folks when they're not gonna boo them. This is also why at times I feel like they need to get rid of the face and heel alignment system, right? Because you're putting fans in situations like you don't want to boo the character. Stop trying to make them a bad guy, whatever. We don't want to boo him. Like this is another reason why they need to get rid of the alignment system. This is why stuff like that is right. They're not gonna want to boo him, so yeah.
WrestleMania 17 on Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho podcast. Worst call I've ever made other than refusing the job to Brock Lesnar in Atlanta. But that was my idea. Well, clearly the time wasn't right for me to turn. It was like everybody loved John Wayne for what he stood for. And so he did not ever have to be a bad guy in his movies. He never was. People didn't want to hate me.
Exactly.
But the Texas Rattlesnake wasn't alone in his complaints. Fans absolutely hated it too. It was impossible not to hate it. It was always a risk to take a megastar of this caliber and then turn them the opposite way. And while it can pay off, with Hulk Hogan in WCW being a prime example, this didn't. Austin's turn played out before a bewildered and lifeless Texan audience who couldn't get their heads around the fact that Austin was now a heel. They were eerily silent when Vince McMahon first handed Austin, his arch rival for 4 years, the steel chair that he would use to beat The Rock within an inch of his life. As Austin said, it was an angle done for the sake of doing an angle. In other words, why even bother? Austin was done as a full-timer within 2 years of his career-derailing heel turn. Yes, injuries were the primary reason, but he was mentally finished the minute his hand shook Vince's. And before the 2014 Royal Rumble match. So aware was Vince McMahon that Daniel Bryan was the
is this the
desired
one?
winner of the Royal Rumble match in
Is this the one with
2014, he
Roman
opted
Reigns?
to
Oh,
remove any
Batista.
possibility of
Oh,
having Batista,
Bautista.
his desired winner, be booed in favor
Bautista.
of Bryan, that he refrained from having the American Dragon enter the 30-man pool at all. By the time the buzzer sounded for number 30 and Rey Mysterio ran out,
yeah,
the
poor
live crowd
Rey.
turned the match off, filling the arena with chants for Bryan. Now the problem with this is that it wasn't the same booking strategy Vince later used in 2019 to build Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey's WrestleMania showdown. Daniel Bryan legitimately wasn't going to main event WrestleMania. He was going to the mid-card and challenging Sheamus for the US title. Bryan ultimately won the big one at WrestleMania 30 after weeks of vocalized fan backlash.
That's crazy that they was going to sell for that. Yeah, that would have been a big ass piss. Yeah, WrestleMania, they would have boycotted the fuck out of WrestleMania and they didn't let that happen. Yeah, glad the yes movement happened, yo, for real.
And now heel Batista and defending champion Randy Orton in a triple threat masquerading as a handicap match, and Vince acted as if this was his grand plan all along. And if it wasn't for the loud fan vocalization of their immense displeasure, Bryan would have been jobbing to Sheamus on the grandest stage, and we would have never got this moment. Number 3, the 2015 Royal Rumble.
Here we go. Oh, here we go. And I was there, though, man. I felt so bad for Roman. I felt so bad for him, man.
Any better in 2015.
I
To
felt
summarize,
so
Daniel
bad.
Bryan was chucked out of the Royal Rumble match after just 10 minutes. The dilapidated Big Show and Kane dumped all the favorites out, including Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Dolph Ziggler, and even Ryback out of the match. And Roman Reigns, in a presentation designed to get him over significantly in a market not known for its goodwill gesture, Philadelphia again, rid the match of the Authority's towering henchmen in what is still the worst Royal Rumble Final 3 to date. But not even an appearance from The Rock could prevent hashtag cancel WWE Network from trending worldwide. He knew it too, as a post-match social media interview alongside Reigns displayed The Rock's true colors. He wanted to come in, make the save, and be the hero WWE wanted Roman to be. But Philadelphia wanted no part in it. WWE really must have been grateful that a supposedly freak snowstorm prohibited the following evening's Monday Night Raw from being broadcast, saving its face following one of the worst Royal Rumble matches of all time. Number 2, hashtag We Want Cody.
Yep.
And in hindsight, this was a blinding piece of business for WWE.
Speaking of that, speaking of that, he almost fucked that up. They almost fucked up 42, yeah.
Rock's first feature-length in-ring outing since 2013, a fiercely brilliant angle between him and Cody Rhodes, and the first instance of an overbooked headline attraction seeing the plunder-focused story benefiting, not derailing the match. At the time though, it was embarrassingly bad. At the 2024 Rumble, Cody Rhodes, who had dragged WWE out of its murky depths and had just won his second Rumble match, pointed directly at Roman Reigns, his assumed WrestleMania 40 foe. Except he wasn't. Seth Rollins was. Roman, meanwhile, was on a track to defend his 4-year WWE title reign against The Rock.
Ooh, I'm glad folks complained. And of course, you had the dickheads like the one I dealt with. There's one particular dickhead as well too, though. Oh, gonna try to use some Star Wars analogy for this shit as well too, though. And it's ridiculous. Whatever. That's why they gotta have the Roman versus Rock soon as well too, man. After this, so they can stop. They still won't let that shit go at all. Especially the Roman fans. Even though Roman's a face now, they still won't let it go.
Ditching the obvious year-long story to deliver the match that had been brewing since 2015. Hashtag We Want Cody trended for days on social media, an operation which reached non-wrestling circles, and indeed one which resulted in WWE pivoting. A gripping documentary was released in the aftermath of the saga, during which WWE smartly told a story as it actually was. In essence, WWE caved to the pressure. For someone who bangs on about trusting the process, Paul Triple H Levesque hates trusting the process. This was never as evident as it was in February 2024. And number 1, this random Divas match. Paige and Emma versus the Bella Twins. That doesn't read as a particularly enthralling tag team match, and it really wasn't. Plastered onto Raw's 23rd February 2015 episode, the bout, which lasted all of 30 seconds, presented its 4 participants as total losers. How that is accomplished in such a period of time is anyone's guess, but WWE managed it. The finish saw Emma take the pin, obviously, as she awkwardly walked into a Bella Buster as if it was on a to-do list of the day. It was a terribly produced match that unknowingly transcended a change of the guard for WWE history. Hashtag Give Divas a Chance was the online trend, but this was more than a trend. It was a movement, earnestly changed everything for female wrestlers in WWE. Without this match, there would have been no Women's Tag Team Championships, no Women's Intercontinental or US
True.
Championships, no Women's Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, Elimination Chamber, or Hell in a Cell matches, and certainly no Women's WrestleMania main event. Fans complained, and for once, WWE actually made a difference, even if they framed it as being the creation of Stephanie McMahon. But there you have it.
So there you have it, though, yo. Yeah. Good on them. Proving what I said in my preview with Jay's problem, or I have to say in general. Heel turns not always the answer. There's times where keeping the heel goes wrong. And the reason why it does that, because either the heel, they're not good as heels, or the fans don't want to boo them as well too. Hence why there's times I say get rid of the alignment system, so we won't be forced that. You know what I mean? Those folks who want to do what they want to, they want whatever, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna say, yeah, I hate to say that, but I'm getting tired of folks coming to me saying that, do what you want, like, don't do that. But at the same time, like, it's like there's people who still want to be traditional and go along with the storyline as well too. So other than that, if you like my reaction, not everybody's rebels, but if you like my reaction to this, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.